Hi everybody, this video is all about spelling and reading tips at level 2. So you may have started the work at this level, or you may have revised entry level 3 and level 1 videos. Either way, I want you to think about heading for the level 2 examination. Can you follow all the spelling and reading tips from this video and pick out the bits that are useful to you? Let's begin. So to begin with, at level 2 you really do need to understand suffix and prefix. Now prefix, they're the letters that we put in front of our root word. So we call the word that we start off with the root word, and the letters that we add to that word to change the meaning or to add meaning, we call the prefix. Now I haven't given you the answers on this screen. I've really set out for you a task that you need to do independently. Create a chart for yourself and have a look at those columns and decide, do you know the use of the prefix? Have you looked up words in the dictionary that begin with those prefixes, and do you understand the meaning? And part of working with prefix and suffix is to start to collate, add together all the different words that begin and end in the same way or in a similar way. So understand the meaning of prefix and suffix. So you might actually create your own structure, and you might start looking at particular words, because it may be that there are words that you don't understand that begin with a particular prefix. That's a good way to start at level 2. And don't forget the endings of words. That's what we call the suffix, the letters that we add to the ending, because they all have meaning. And that's the real message from this part of looking at level 2 spelling. The different letters that we add to our words have meaning, so make sure that you understand how they're used. And make lists of words that are really what we call word families. That's words that all fit together. So this is a particular chart that I've looked at, which is looking at occupations, and it's working on the suffix, so it's looking at the ending letters of the words, and all you would be doing is adding into those columns words that end with the same suffix. So for example, if you're looking at ER, you would find all the occupations you could think of to add to those words that are already in the chart. As I say to everybody, regardless of your level, put your words everywhere. So a reminder, that might be on the fridge, it might be on your wall, it might be in the car, it might be in your word book, it might be in your purse, or it might be somewhere else. But the most important thing about learning the English words and increasing your vocabulary is put the words everywhere, because that means that you will be seeing them far more than you're used to, and your eyes and your brain will work together to put the vocabulary in your head so that you use it in your reading and writing. The other thing you need to do at level 2 is learn spelling rules. So here's an example of a spelling rule, and this spelling rule is for compound words. So you need to look up the different spelling rules, have a look at the examples that you get for each spelling rule. For level 2 then, for the section of reading, I want you to think about reading for understanding, because when you reach level 2, there is an understanding that you have covered all of entry level and level 1 expectations for your reading and writing and speaking and listening. And so a big focus for you, still using all the reading strategies from previous levels, but also demonstrating that reading for understanding. So one of the most important things that you need to do is learn about the division of paragraphs. So it's not just about writing paragraphs when you're writing a piece of work, but it's also looking at how do you use the idea of paragraphs to understand your reading. So make sure you go over the idea of each paragraph, having a main idea. Make sure you understand topic sentences and the one sentence that you could pick out to show the main point. And also do, as a matter of course, the highlighting of keywords and phrases. This is always a really good strategy to help you work through a piece of reading. And what you can do with your reading is get into the habit of identifying the topic sentence for each of the paragraphs that you're looking at. So practice reading and practice listing the main point for each paragraph, because this is the start of actually ensuring that you really understand your reading, and you'll be able to use this idea when you move on to summarising. When you have your list, once you've done your reading and you've created a list of key sentences, topic sentences for each paragraph, you need to ask yourself this information. Does this give you the gist? And we talk about the gist as being the main ideas out of that piece of writing, because if not, you need to add information. So it's very possible, if you haven't got the gist of the reading, that you may have missed an important part of the paragraph. So keep practicing with that reading, taking out key points, making a list of topic sentences from paragraphs, and then going back over it. And that word check, I'm going to use again. Check that you have the gist of the information. So one of the important things for you next is to retell. Yes, once you've got those ideas, retell them to somebody else. Verbally tell somebody. And this is going to help support your reading. So it is very important. Speaking and listening is actually part of reading for understanding. If you can tell somebody else exactly what you think that piece of reading is about, you really understand that reading. The other thing that you need to be asking yourself at level 2 is, do you understand the opinion of the writer? So you could be asking yourself the question, what have I found out about the writer's opinion? Do I really understand what the writer thinks? And this won't be obvious necessarily in that piece of writing. You've got to work out the use of the vocabulary, the sentences and the structure of the writing. How does that help you understand opinion? And a very important thing at level 2 is to make sure that you're revising all the time language. So language features. And here there are just 3 examples of techniques you might look at, but I have them here to show you an example of a chart, because this is the type of chart you ought to be making when you're actually looking at pieces of writing. Any piece of reading that you're looking at all the time, asking yourself, what techniques is this writer using, and thinking about those examples, because you're going to be doing a level 2 functional skills exam, and if you practice all the time looking for language in this way, you will find your examination much easier. And that's the end of today's session, so I'm going to say bye for now. Bye.